Desolate, forlorn, and untrodden by men. No mortal voice has ever been heard here, until now. Was uninhabited, but due to my good words and actions, he was cast here. We cannot linger longer. He will discover that we have arrived, and our purpose wrought to ensnare him will be ineffectual for a common cause. We don't know how far off he is. Survey the area for a cavern with 2 mouths. He should be near there, as he cannot travel far. His wounded limb drags heavy on him. He is a detested wretch.
Sir, there, by the crest of that dune is the cave. There is no path to it or footprints around it. Let's take him now and be done with this. Why else are we here?
Quiet! You have proven yourself a great warrior. You've been chosen for this work because of your valor, bravery, and unwavering dedication to your superiors. Your galvanized faithfulness to me is why you are here, not just because you are strong. You have the ingenious nature of youth. You are bold, but this situation requires delicacy. You must be crafty, but also do everything you are told without hesitation or question. I see right through your intent. Come here, and I will give you your orders.
Yes, sir. Sir, who is this man? Why do you, the greatest of all generals, flinch when you mention his name?
I shrink from no man. No one stands in my way. Dionysus is weak, and his weakness sickens me. His lack of vision is repulsive.
Lack of vision?
He is immoral and lives a depraved life no man would ever want to live. This heathen has no honor, no respect, wallows in his turpitude. He is part animal and blights all that he touches. He cares for nothing but to sodomize whomever crosses his path. He is loyal to no country and would sell you out to your enemy for sport. Dionysus is an affront to God and all that we hold dear.
Then why not just slay him now? Why not cut off the Minotaur's head and restore peace and order to the land? What makes him so strong?
It was said that truth and honesty are on his side, regardless of the consequences. He presents a phantasm that his presence is a hallmark of purity and truth. He is an illusionist with a serpent's tongue, rallies men with a few simple words, diverting them from my desire. From what we need. Words, not deeds, make you the master of men. My love for our country prompts me to act on this mission.
And it is not safe to have men within reach of him.
No. Not unless he is secured by fraud and curbs his tongue. I'll cut it out of his head if I have to.
If that is what we have to do.
He just is deluded. He thinks he's a solution in search of a problem. We need his presence, but must lobotomize his barbaric mind and twisted principles with deceit.
And it doesn't bother you to wield lies like a weapon, sir?
What? No! Not if our safety depends on that. My safety, your safety, and the safety of our country. Not if that lie brings us salvation. We shouldn't shriek at anything that will advance our interest and bring success. You see what is happening out there in our world? There's dissension growing in the ranks. The public questions us on what is right and what we know they need. Do I have to ask where your allegiance lies?
No, sir!
Some harken back to the day when they believed Benita symbolized truth and virtue for many. And they hunger for those innocent days. The spot will not rub away, so we must use it. Having Benitez as our shield will squelch any doubt or resistance to us, thereby cementing our authority over all nations. You must see that. You must see what our country needs. We have to control Benitez and present him as an icon of suffering. He will be the new Job. We will parade him before the masses and present him as a conduit through which those who flock to him can experience the reality of God, our God, and obey our desires.
He is immoral and a depraved degenerate, and if we are true and just with God on our side, then why can't we face him straight on?
Because he is smart. So licentiousness and sexual proclivities do not inhibit him as much as you might think. Benitez is as crafty as a serpent in Eden. Remember that Alexander the Great conquered the known world in the day, but spent each night wrapped in Hephaestion's brawny arms and carnal legs. Do not underestimate your enemy. Sirens come in many forms.
I've been around the world and I know what it happens. There are no surprises lying in wait that I cannot overcome.
You have never been here, in this place before. You are a good man, and of noble birth. You've worked hard and sacrificed much to get to where you are. Many honors are yours already. The greatest glory and admiration of all men will be yours if you succeed in this mission. You will be lionized by nations that cheer your name. We must deceive Benitez. That is your mission. To bring him back, plied with promises of your support and passionate affections, if need be. It is a task your heart must be in 100%, or we will fail. I must have your solemn oath on this. Benitez's flaws and desires will make him easy prey for this baited trap. When he asks who you are, you will tell him that you too have been deceived by the great Atrox, and you sought him out for his aid to defeat me. Stay within the verge of truth so he believes you.
Yes, sir.
Tell him how you resent me so he can confide in you easily. Bellow out in fury how much you hate me. Curse me if you must. No matter what you say, I will forgive you. But your country will not forgive you if you fail. Once you gain his attention and eventual trust, speak of your longing for him. You walked in step with a great man once. You must stir his memories and desires as when he was with the manliest of men. His lover was the paragon of masculinity and a true warrior. The intensity of their love is myth, but that lover is long dead, and Dionysus has been here for some time. Your seduction of him should be the easiest battle you've ever ventured.
Sir.
You have the right qualities to lull him into that false sense of trust and friendship. Who wouldn't want you as an intimate companion? You will capture his attention for sure. You will deny him nothing that he desires to win his trust and compliance. 1 hour of forced indulgence will win you a lifetime of glory. This is what you must do to succeed.
I was not born to flatter or betray. He is lame and impotent. I am young and strong and can drag him back, willing or not. I would rather fall by virtue than rise by guile.
Noble and worthy boy, we must act in concert. I was young and brash like you once, boastful and reckless. But experience has taught me it is not the powerful arm, but the soft, enchanting tongue that governs man. Do you understand your mission? We don't have much time. Good. Then on your feet. Dionysus is maimed, yes, but far from impotent. He must be gained by fraud.
Why by fraud and not persuasion?
You will not listen to it. And force on him is even more in vain. You must be crafty and take him by deception. Bringing him back without his cooperation and consent is a bootless game. All that we have rests on your shoulders.
Your word is law to me.
Great men through the ages have answered this patriotic call to lay their needs aside, to risk everything and to fight for the good of the nation. This debased foe is an enemy to our fair republic. His renowned rapaciousness is the death of democracy. It is you alone who must shield our citizens and our state from his defilement, his turpitude.
You're right. I'll do it. Guilt and shame are just mere words when the better interests of our country are at risk.
Our names will be forever linked with the words valiant and wise. Concentrate on those words instead. This mission may be adverse to your nature, but it is your duty to comply. Victory is a glorious prize, and the means by which it was achieved will be forgotten. So you'll remember everything I've said, and your obedience is assured.
Victory is a glorious prize. Victory! You can depend on it. I've given you my word that is sufficient to rely on.
Good. You will remain here. I must not be seen. His hatred of me is pure, and my ruin will be your ruin if he sees me. There is no slaking his anger, thirst for revenge on me. It is his every waking thought. That is your key advantage. You see, it is because of me that he is here. And I've changed. But he will not give me the chance to make amends. I tried to plead my case to him long ago, but he would not listen. As bestial as he is steadfast in opposing me.
I won't let you down, sir.
We all trust in you. Our very success and security is riding on this. One more thing. The wound that Dionysus is afflicted with is a harrowing thing. It has made him rank and unholy. It is a malignant sore that gapes at you and seeps an oozing pus that was sent as punishment from God's own hand. And God was just to do it. Dionysus convulses and cries out wildly, although no one can hear him here. It is a cureless wound and there is no mending it. Do not let it throw your determination to accomplish your mission.
Yes, sir!
I must go. He will crawl out of that hole that he deserves to be in soon enough. Remember yourself and your duty. Be strong.
I am a stranger in a very strange land.
My eyes are playing tricks on me. Welcome, stranger. What disastrous fate has led you to this inhospitable place? This is a trick. You do not speak. I cannot be seeing what I'm seeing. And these things do not happen here. How did you get here? How did you get here? Do not be afraid of my wild look. Do you know who I am? Do you recognize me? I think that I've lost my mind.
How could I know someone that I've never seen before? I was told that you might be Dionysus, but I was also told by others that Dionysus is a myth.
Oh. You mortal. And the fates are crueler still by bringing you here. Welcome nonetheless. It is so wonderful to have someone else here. Bitterly sour now to meet you in this place. Are you alone?
Yes. And you?
Alone? Yes. That is my punishment.
Punishment for what? Punishment for what?
For hope, for trust, for dreaming.
This is a bizarre place. I've been all around the world and I've never seen anything like it.
It is a hell that knows no borders.
How do you live? What do you live on? Where does your food and water come from? How do you survive?
Both are hard to come by. But I have scavenger and I do the best I can. It isn't easy.
No, it wouldn't be. I've done battles in many harsh places. Deserts, like the Sahara and Al-Azizia, but I have never seen such a desolate or parched place as this.
Even your soul will evaporate here if you stay too long.
Oh, I think I can handle it. Well, you did. There's always a way to get by.
Is there?
Well, there's a lot to be said for grit and smarts. And you must have some type of grit or you wouldn't have survived here. I'd like to know more about you. And who you really are.
How hateful the fates are to me. So early that I would be myth. But I'm all too real. My suffering is real. You've never heard a story more sad than mine. You didn't really recognize me?
No.
I was betrayed and rejected at every turn as I was trying to save the very creatures that rejected me. Compassion is the vein that has led me here. Like petulant children, they ran to Atrox when he flashed glimmering objects at their eyes and whispered to them exultantly what they wanted to hear. He murmured hollow promises in their ears and plied them with horrid pleasures to hold and capture their attention. Not to everyone, just the venal leaders whom they follow.
But who rejected you?
History is abounded with rash rejections. Didn't the illustrious Alcibiades feel the sting of Athens' rejection, only to see Athena fell to her knees and asked for his return? Of course, his suffering wasn't as great as mine. There was a time when I could forgive even those who rejected me, but I could never exonerate the scrupulous Atrox.
Atrox?
I wish you will never have the gross misfortune to cross the likes of Atrox. He is evil incarnate. He is a festering legion. He is vomit.
I know Atrox. I know him well.
No! Oh, tell me who you are! Did he send you here to finish me up? Are you a vile born of the cancerous Atrox? Stop! Is there no limit to his blight? More malicious torment! I'll kill you with my bare hands!
Stop! Stop it! Stop! He has stolen everything from me too! Here's the reason that I'm here with you! I have come to find an ally in my struggle against Atrox!
What?
You're not the only one who abhors the presence of Atrox in the world! There are many who do! And we must band together for what is true and right!
Oh, my dear boy, you're right. Forgive me. It is a miracle that I have any sanity left after being in this place for so long. So please, tell me who you are. Tell me how the envenomed Atrox crossed you. Tell me of your hate for him. All men with clear eyes and sound mind must detest him.
I will tell you, if I can bear to. I was called away to a battle that was painted as just and true. It was to be a battle for the sake and survival of my country. I trusted Atrox completely.
Trust is a toy for Atrox.
At first I thought he was a friend and a mentor. It wasn't until after the ground was soaked with pools of blood that I realized there was no need for the conflict, except to make Atrox and his friends even more wealthy. He played on my innocence and on my disillusioned admiration for him and all that he seemingly accomplished.
I'm truly sorry to hear it, my boy.
The bitter indignation didn't stop there. Shortly after that battle, I was stripped of my father's wealth and nobility that I had full right to. My father was agreeable. who met his fate far too soon on the battlefield, defending our fair country against her enemies. His body hadn't yet fallen to the ground before Atrox began taking the spoils of my father's wealth and power that were my birthright. It was said that Atrox robbed my father's corpse of its armor while it was still warm and dripping with blood.
Atrox would pick the pockets of the dead on any battlefield.
When I confronted Atrox in person, he said that I should have been at that battle with my father. And since I wasn't, he declared my father's property and glory as his own. I was just a child then.
Robbing children who were widows would be a sport for Atrox. He'd do that before breakfast.
When I was born, my mother gave me up to be raised as a servant as her own. My true lineage wasn't revealed to me until I was in military school at the ripe age of 9. It was then that my true self began to emerge.
Children learning war tactics. What do people think?
No, you're wrong. It made me a man and it made me strong. When I learned who my father was, I worked hard and struggled to be the best so that I could take my place at his side on the battlefield as soon as I could.
Children should be protected from such things. You should have been instructed in mathematics and the science instead of battle tactics.
I was taught everything that I needed to become the warrior that I am today and regret nothing.
And your father?
My father certainly deserved better than what he got. He always fought for what was right. I mean, when given the choice between a cluster of jewels or a sword, as a child, my father, he seized the sword of justice and wielded it over his head as if it were a natural extension of his own arm. And he walked away with the jewels, just scattered on the ground, since he found what he truly needed in that sword.
Atrox, when picking up the sword to slay everyone around him and steal the jewels, he'd been posed with the same choice. Even as a youth, Atrox's raw thirst was insatiable.
I was stripped of my heritage. Atrox said that I had to earn my family trophies back from him in his service, and you would think that these deeds were vile enough to raise my father from the dead to avenge his family and myself. But instead, they fired such a hate in my soul for the evil Atrox that now I live every day to avenge my father and take back what is mine. If the day were ever to come when Atrox was slain,
they would have to bury him dead.
I would personally seek out his corpse to hack him into pieces and feed what remains of him to the dogs in the street.
They would make the dogs sick.
Probably.
The day of Atrox's death probably won't come. That's not the way things work.
It could. I will make it happen one day. And soon.
Too many men have been wronged by Atrox. More than the stars in the sky. The truth that you exhibit in your anguish proves that we are brothers in our fight for what is right and true in the world. You can trust Atrox. Fraud is on his lips. You know it too well. Mention a great father. I have a great father. What is your name, son?
I am Virtus. I am Virtus.
I know a child named Virtus. Son of a great man and even a glory warrior who I adore and hold dear to my heart. If this is you, then you have glorious ancestral lineage and might. That would mean, from your story, that your father is dead. He can't be dead! Nothing evil has ever perished. The Fates carefully protect him. That is because the Fates are evil themselves and are the root of all suffering. No. The world cannot be denied of any sign of goodness while it is cast in the shadow of evil and despair. Is there a good life that can sustain itself against hatred?
Aeneas, just...
Why not is that for theirs? Why? How can men that support haters flourish while brave and virtuous men like your father die around them? Why should men worship a heaven where evil never dies? Can they say this?
Venus, you just...
To think that the belligerent Atrox had a hand on the downfall of your mighty father. I can take it in. The fates seem to forever shield Atrox against his lewdness, and let truth and justice be gored and banished. I will mourn your father for the rest of my days.
Virtue is oppressed, and vice is triumphant. You have enough to mourn over. Leave my father's legacy to me for the keeping. But I appreciate your heartfelt sentiments for my father. They do you justice. Your duteous tears seem genuine.
True. This is true. If you heard nothing of me in all these years, then my poor father certainly has heard nothing and surely thinks that I am dead. What he must have gone through. I'm so weighed down and full of grief to think of it. Are there no writings of Dion that survived?
Dion?
Not of the world. Those who spat me here keep silent, and are glad that men's memory is short and fractured. How damn can the fates be that no one word of my piteous situation can be heard of at home? But I can hear all the cries of mankind here!
What cries of mankind, Vanitas?
It was men who cast me here, was squelched any news of my fate. Hatred smiles triumphantly when my wound grows deeper and eat at me day and night. His fear, he was trampled his containment over me, but he is like enough to know the recourse he would receive if the truth were out. He knows that no allowing any mention of me prolongs my containment and ailment. And all of this, oh my poor father mourns his son's death.
What? What's wrong? What? What is it? What? How can I...
I'm so sorry. It's my affliction.
Vanitas! Are you mad? Have you been wrecked with this ravenous plague and just been absent from human care so long that your mind is just splintered and cracked?
I wish I would. I wish that madness softened this torment. And I cannot see what I see. I cannot hear what I hear in my mind. Thank you for your help, my Lord. You are a pearl of preciousness in this warring world. Do not allow this burden of my wounds to steal my worth. Achilles! You're still here. It was not a dream. I thought you might have gone.
No, I'm not a dream. But it is true that the time has come for me to go. I must depart at the first propitious opportunity. I'm running out of time.
Leaving? Leaving? So soon? You are taking me with you? You must take me with you! I have no poison here left to rely on. You cannot leave me here choked with distress.
Nothing can be assured. I'm still not assured of your allegiance to me and my goal.
Allegiance! You said that you needed help. And you know that I need help. What good simple oath would do when our need is so intense? There is a sure responsibility between the helper and the help.
I would take you back with me if we had a common understanding on how to meet the goal wedded to our common fate.
I don't understand.
Of course, the goal right now is to get out of here and back to the battle. Where are we anyway? Benitez. Where is this place? What part of the world are we? Benitez!
What do you remember about coming?
That's just it. I suddenly realized that I don't. I don't remember coming here. I was just here.
What is the last memory? What you were doing before you came here?
I was sleeping. I was lying down to rest and anxious to begin my next mission, and the next thing I knew, I awoke and I was here with the weight of the world on my head.
What was your mission? Strange that you call your life avenging quest a mission. How militaristic. Cold.
I told you. I'm here to find allies to join me in deceiving and toppling Atrox. Stop scrutinizing me. I asked you a question, now I want an answer. Where are we?
Why are you getting anxious?
Why are you being evasive?
Why are you yelling?
Stop this!
Just asking questions too. What do you have to hide?
I have nothing to hide.
Well, you might be here for a while. So we'll eventually see that it's true.
Well, it is true. If I say it is true. Benitez, where is this place?
I'm not sure you're going to understand if I told you. It's difficult to explain.
Try me. Go ahead.
You are in a dimension that is ruled chiefly the emotions of mankind and every other living thing in the world. Because you're mortal, your body is probably still where you last left it. You're most assuredly not there.
Are you saying that I'm dead?
No, I'm not saying that.
What are you talking about?
The universe that you live in and call home has three spatial dimensions. You're outside of that, in a tetraspace universe, a spatial fourth dimension. There, are you happy? Can we go now?
What? What are you telling me?
I'm answering your questions. You ask, there is the answer. I told
But
you.
you can't just say
this
that.
is an immense, unknown region. It is outside of humanity's field of vision, not necessarily outside of humanity's senses. If men think that the fourth dimension is just time or mathematics, it's not. Here, time and space are inseparable.
I don't understand you. I don't understand what you are saying.
In this place, energy reduces much faster with distance. Light and sound are weaker. It's very easy to get lost here, too. The cries of the wronged and the persecuted punch through the universe. Reverberate here. He's penetrating and deafening. Emotion is the energy that fuels everything here. It will affect what is happening in the world over there. It's amplified. It can rip you apart over here. Shed tear over there. It's a river over here. A river of tears over there. Took you away over here.
You mean amplification? Like through a prism?
Well, through a prism that is bigger than the sun. The harder you think on it, the less you will understand.
No, I think I do understand. Energy, pain, and anguish, they have to go somewhere. The energy has to go somewhere.
That's right. Matter can be destroyed, only changed.
So the energy, it travels here. Why?
Why not? You traveled here for something, didn't you? But remember this. The more you travel to seek the truth, the more you will end up when you began. It's a real mindfuck, isn't it?
Simply only believe what I can see and feel.
The longer you stay here, the more you will see that feeling is a sense that will damn you for sure. I'm pretty stout of an hypercube, so I can't really explain it any better than that. Why are you so quiet? I'll bet you're contemplating exit strategies, and as much soldier would. Don't waste your time. It is simpler than you think.
So, you're saying that this is like being in a dream?
You're in a dream that you cannot wake up from.
So how do you get back then, if it is that simple?
Pure will. You have to have the will of all the people you're coming from and to where you're going to force this place to release you. That is why I cannot escape. Although the solution may seem simple, it's far from being easy.
Your definition is too mystical. What I see and what I feel defies that. None of this makes any sense in my mind.
What do you know about senses?
I know what I can feel.
You can grasp the situation because you haven't considered the emotional factor yet. It comes after being here for a while. Plato had a theory that human perceptions are just shadows of the real objects.
Shadows.
By shadows, I mean only a glimpse into the real object. Here, emotional energy flows over you so intensely. You're not only seeing shadows, hearing echoes, smelling fires, tasting blood as well.
But how can you just...
I call that cave over there my Plato's cave, which I step off. At any rate, it will drive you mad if you stay too long.
How long have you been here?
Too long.
It still doesn't explain how I got here.
You wished it.
I could not conceive of such a place.
You're a living being. That is the source for this place to exist. You wanted it in some way.
Well, if that is true, then I can just will myself out, right?
You have that kind of will in you. Enough will for all mankind. If you can sum up the will of all mankind, then perhaps you can go from here.
For all of mankind?
You must have hit the level to get here. Listen. All the evil and savagery committed on the earth tear at the lining of the universe.
You can sense these things.
Every time a weaker person is beaten, I feel the blows myself. Every time a mother's children are raped and slaughtered in her sight, I can feel the anguish. Millions are poisoned by toxins and scorched by an atomic bomb. I burn with them. Any act of cruelty and injustice committed by mankind tear at me and at the delicate balance of stability in the cosmos itself.
Tears in the universe. not sure I buy this.
Every time there is an act of brutality, barbarity, and injustice in the world, there is a rip in the cosmic fabric of the universe. All of the emotions, stress, and anguish of the inflicted pour through that tear, creating a vorticity that can suck you in and bring you here.
A vortex. Of what?
It's a vortex of tears. Rivers and oceans of tears pour into this most desert of places. Upwards. Not before filtering their way through me.
And that it brings you here.
Yes. Amongst other things, the level of hate and anguish is so intense, it scrapes and tears at your flesh when you hear, giving you a wound like mine.
So this place, along with all the hate and violence in the world, it rips at the universe and at you and your wound? That would mean that they're all somehow connected?
Everything is connected. You, me, every man and animal, every plant and tree, every living thing. We Violatrix, its Basilic's cronies, I'm sorry to say, connected with us, a stream of energy that is life and being.
So while you are here, you act as the filter for all of this negative energy.
Amplify negative energy.
That would mean that this place is alive somehow.
This place is alive. And it feeds on my ravenous plague. That is why you cannot leave me here to be slowly devoured. It is your goodness that can release me from this torment. It is honorable to labor for a stranger's need. Righteousness demands it. No. Honor of your great father. No. By the admiration of all men, I'm your suppliant, and I'll beg you to don't leave me here, alone and forlorn with all this misery that you clearly see. You heard my dismal groans. In all blessed kindness and mercy, with you return with me will bring you glorious fame. I promise you, you cannot leave me behind!
How could we return together and escape Atrox's attention? He has global connections and powers.
He will wither if faced by both of us united. Others would join us into battle if true and right is on our side.
Now it is you who speaks of battle.
But a battle for the hearts and souls of mankind. For the riches that a temporary military campaign can bring.
I'm just not sure what's right anymore.
True heart will always guide you in the search for it.
No. Atrox would strike before we were grouped, and he's strong enough to defeat us in a frontal assault. But if I brought you back with me to serve Atrox, then we could—
What? Serve Atrox? You're mad. You have lost any sense of sanity and reason, if you ever had any. Me? Serve all that is wrong in the world? I couldn't. I couldn't do it even if I desired it. I would choke in the first word to speak it.
Listen,
I would turn to salt in the attempt.
Listen,
I could not have...
Listen! Listen to me! Listen! It's only in falling behind Atrox, with your heads down in piety, that we eventually can get close enough to strike.
I couldn't feel the malignity that I have Atrox for a moment. I couldn't. Bonitas is the subordinate of Atrox.
Together, we could surge at Atrox from a revealed blind spot to strike him down for good when he least suspects it. The sudden blow would be fatal.
You're mad. You are mad. No. Have you heard nothing of what I say to you?
Oh, don't you want to go home?
Of course I long to go home to Brutu. From the forest of Sila again. Not like this. No under those terms.
You are a famed archer. With deadly precision, you know that you must stand, draw, and aim before you strike. You must take the necessary time to draw in a breath and hold in order to hit your target. The rules are no different here. Men witnessing this diversion will simply think that I have caved into duty and that you were woefully crippled by your experiences here and think nothing of our indentured service over time. Men will forget. They always do. That will be our guise. Once we sense a frailty by being close to Atrox in the appearance of serving him, faithfully over time can we eventually get close enough to strike when the blow will be clean and fatal. You must see this. Here is your ticket home.
Home? To crawl home yoked by Atrox. To lend to his deception of men and aid his wicked pursuits of domination. The death and carnage that would bring. To have nothing to show for all these years of sufferings and heavy groan here but disgrace.
Together
I cannot stifle my plaints for him for a moment. Noxious invectives would break up in every pore of me at his sight. Every molecule of my being would revolt at it.
And what about me?
What about you? What?
You care nothing for me in the short time that we shared together? You've heard my complaints, my righteous claims rejected, and you deny me the one opportunity to avenge them.
I've come to care for you. I care for what you need. I feel a bond surging. I want to see where it leads us. If my words cannot seduce you, then perhaps my body can. Been here a long time. Far from all human care and touch. We knew love once. I know of your passion with what many say was the greatest of girded warriors. You can have that again. If you could find it in your heart to do what I asked, then there is nothing that I could deny you. My body would be yours to take for your pleasure. It is what I want. I don't care how you do it. You can close your eyes, call me Hercules on the thrust. I won't mind. Our two clashing forces in rhythm will get us what we both want.
Profane child! I should strike you death for such a comparison of the riches I had to what you offer. What makes you think you can win by whoring when you cannot win by right or reason? You sully the memory of your great father and denigrate me with such lascivious suggestions. Cover your filthy self so I don't have to witness this speculance a moment longer. I knew and loved your father. I saw you enter this world of birth and watch you take your first steps. I would have timed you then, had I known the length you go to acquire what you think you did.
Enough of that! What makes you so implacable? I've had enough of wooing and cajoling you to my side. I will drag you back by force to secure your allegiance to me, or you will surely die here in the sand. My will is mighty. Your blood will flow from 1,000 wounds when I am done with you.
You have been taught well by Egypt.
I will slice you to pieces.
Do it! Do it! I would impale myself in your blade if I thought it would make any difference. But it wouldn't. It would be just another wound inflicted by mankind and me. What are you waiting for? Do it. You still don't get it. You have eyes, But you cannot see. You certainly cannot hear. I cannot die. I can only wither. That is my horrific fate. Give me 1,000 wounds. I just want. Keen soldiers always meant to strike. Slash away with your knife. Your blade cannot lacerate me more than your insidious words already have. You fool. Death will be a blessing for me. Fear that your prayers are in vain. That is what you're doing. What are you doing?
Disgrace awaits me regardless of today's results. There's no way to win this situation. The repercussions will be severe no matter which way I turn.
You said that you were running out of time. Well, you don't have to worry about that. Time has no meaning here.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. The weight of the world is just pressing on me.
My goodness. Such a pretty and young man. So deep. Who would have thought it? Someone so young with so much to weigh and ponder. What could you be thinking about? Perhaps it's your mission. Well, you're a soldier, and it is true that it's better too little to ponder in battle. Just do what you're told, and take your orders. That is what you're used to it, isn't it? You sing away with your mighty sword. Things get vastly more complicated with the issues of what is right and what is wrong coming to play.
What is right and what is wrong present themselves in every strategy on the battlefield. You'd be surprised to know how often mercy is doled out when the situation neither requires or begs for it.
That is true for some, my boy, but only a precious few. Others take the withholding of mercy as a spoil of war, revel in the keeping of it just to hear this beg. That is the line for scepter.
What would you know about it?
I know. I've been around for quite some time. Few seek a balance, administering mercy. Others consider it an obstacle to their ends. Few are virtuous enough to slay their soul with an act of mercy. Besides, you were quick to offer the path of guise and deception early, weren't you? You thought it repugnant to your nature, but now, I'm not so sure.
You don't know what Atrox will do.
I know Atrox. And I too wish Atrox dead. No, with trickery and lies. Must meet head on, overrun and conquer. The triumph wouldn't be an achievement at all. It would be simply a continuation of the disruption he has started in the world. Can't kill the Hydra by simply hacking off its head. If you do that, another head will surely replace the first one, and then another, and then another, and
where
so on.
is your desire to leave this place that you so strongly exhibited earlier? When you said you wanted to get back to your father, didn't you?
It is no when, but how that matters most. Father is probably dead already. And if he's not, he wouldn't want me to master trickery to take my place by his side. It's true there is little for me to lose now that my soul is If your soul is in your possession, I wonder.
It is true that there is nothing but distress and misery when one acts against their true nature. Now when I return, men will call me either weak or villain. I see no other option.
Why do you think that? Are you not a decorated soldier? One's lineage is finer than yours. What do you
You know enough about me. Now tell me about you. What were you like before you were here, when you were young? I'll bet that you were bold and valiant, honest and true. I'll just bet that you were perfect and you never defied your true nature.
soft flatteries? But I wish I were now where I have been. I would be even more sour and callous than I am. I have not been blessed with a love that could only be described as, well, Heraclean. I was young and beautiful like yourself. I thought I'd always be that way. It was a time when my chief concern was limited in keeping my wine glass full and having fun.
You're not that old.
I had a life of privilege as a youth, but knew the value and reward of a full day's work. I fleetingly wonder what was on the other side of the ocean as I lay on the beach and gazed out on the horizon. Only on the rare occasions when the wine bottle was empty.
Isn't that what the young are supposed to do?
When you're young, you think that beauty and strength will never fail you. You think that there will always be an endless lovers clamoring to be in your bed. Luck, fortune will be your constant companions. Never think for a moment. Pain, sickness, malice rule you one day.
No one would.
Young never think that their hopes, dreams, and lofty ambitions leave them venom of hate and bitterness gargling in their throats. They realize it is them that acid is devouring.
Did you know love then? Or is that myth too?
I was young and found a love that was infinite in pleasure and wondrous in depth. He was the epitome of man. He was a warrior, abound in strength and passion. We made love when truly one person felt as if we were at the center of the universe. All we had to do was lay back and accept it all to be worthy. I saw him grow from a brash youth, yourself, to the most platinum of men.
Sounds good to me.
Was the many victories in battle, and the glory those victories brought, eventually reached him all over the years. It was that age that gave him the wiles to justify and reason away his past digressions at the edge of a sword. Albeit sometimes patched with manufactured cause and high personalization, of course. He rarely did love mercy in his campaigns. He did certainly have the heart for it.
Mighty arm that swings a sword can also give a strong embrace.
He was a loving and kind man under his armor. That alone gave him a glory more luminous than anybody feel after working with. It also gave him a sort of redemption, at least for a while. He was right there at the moment that he deserved to live the most.
What happened?
He was betrayed and poisoned by a cloak stained with centurion blood he spilled years ago as a grass youth. This time no armies would come to his aid. It was only me. He was hobbled by the venom and quickly becoming firm.
What did you do?
There was nothing I could do. I was helpless. couldn't stop the sickness. I could only give him relief till the deception and gas poison did its work, and eventually drained him of his life, killing him.
Sorry.
And then, no one light the funeral pyre, like to cut the flames and release his spirits to the stars myself.
Was it Atrox that cast the poison?
Atrox wishes he had the strength and opportunity to have been the one to bring the ruin. But he wasn't. He was my lover's wife who perpetrated the deed. She devised a way to use the blood-stained target and poison. She pretended to cloak him. Long story, don't ask.
So Atrox, he's been around you for a long time. You and he have a history that goes way back then?
It feels as it goes back to the dawn of time. Atrox's entire youth would spend constantly trumpeting his lascivious conquest, spoiling thousands of young maidens who believed his lies for what on night. His lust for spoiling young and trusting men was equally known. I like to say that our paths only occasionally crossed, never far apart. Never. He blustered his desires about me to everyone that would listen to him. Lover and I would laugh at the story came back to us in Roma.
And Atrox, he never tried to seduce you in all that time?
Seduce?
Well,
one evening, at the Russia celebration in the center of our town, a very long time ago, a young and drunken Atrox grabbed me, in vain effort to quench his desires, foolishly thinking that I would soon, like all the others did. He tweaked and fondled of me from behind by growling how pleased I would be the next morning if I only submitted to his molestation. I leveled him to the street with just one blow. I'm sure he still can feel the pang that feels in his cheek to this day.
so you had beaten Atrox then?
I wish that were the case. Our triumphs over each other's always been temporary. Atrox is as sly as malevolent as they come.
He is.
Atrox saw that he couldn't conquer me directly, so he began a campaign to turn men against me as his legions. Many men can be quickly seduced by these prophets, hollow promises, fat of riches for exchange on the operation that it did.
What happened?
Mankind as a whole began disappearing from anything that was right and reason. Common sense disappeared. War went mad.
You see that happening now today too.
Leaders sprang up all over the world, promising their citizens easy profits, quick rewards, taking shortcuts and overpowering the weak. Atrox stood behind every single one of them. Attila, Kimmel's son, Caligula, Emperor, Zedon, they all were mouthpieces for Atrox.
So tell me what you know that is not written in the history of the world.
No matter where surgery or slaughter occurred, Atrox is there. Entire villages are slain, burned to ashes. Cannons and bombs are devised. Great camps are constructed for ethnic cleansing. Children and the old are gassed and reduced to ashes. Atrox is there. I want to be the one with his hand on the lever, but he's there.
No place is out of his reach.
You hear that an entire nation has mountains of dead men. That no one girl over 5 years old or woman under 90 is left unmolested. Atrox is walking through the lands, blood dripping from the end of his sword.
But Atrox is just one person, and those acts would take legions to perpetrate.
Atrox is the sparks that gets it all started. Whispers in men's ears what they want to hear. He knows how to release barbarous lust, while deep, otherwise vulnerable men. blasting the musicians, cajoling them to act in their bestial nature.
Most men know the difference between good and evil, right and wrong.
Most men know how to act, but few have the strength and opportunity to stand firm, told of the riches to be had, by pillaging and raping another country around the world, or the next town, or his neighbor's house.
Well, I know what choices I would make when faced with those challenges, because I know what choices I've made in the past. I have faith that I would do right.
Do you? I have faith that the goodness and honesty of mankind would stand up to the challenge. But that also vanishes quickly. When Atriox surges.
What? What's wrong?
I cannot conceal it. His soul-devouring blade shoots and pierces. Take your knife and hack off this diseased limb. If only Atriox could feel this racking torture, even to the end of his soul. It should be him who will be slain, as I have done. Muerte! ¿Dónde estás, muerte? Out there! Wasted!
As the pain and adverse wind's appetite is satisfied, it is passing. What mead waits for me from such a shameful and sorrier mission?
To wake is such a beautiful sight. And a kind hand proves that things are changing for me. Noble nature prevents you from being spoiled. Help me up. Strength shall return soon.
You appear to be dead. Is there no balm for this wound? Perhaps truth is the salve that you need. Without truth, justice is powerless. Confession is the balm that I need. The baseness that wrings my soul spewed up. I cannot stop it.
I don't understand.
I have something that I must tell you.
No. One more word will drive me mad. My slumber will seize me soon, and I have to sleep. Hope this pain will pass.
But I have to...
I would prove that I trust you. Relying that you will watch over me, giving me the first peaceful rest I've known since course in this domain. You remain with me. Simple not either way. I will not integrate you with an oath.
I will be as constant as the sea. As satisfied.
Those words are the sweetest balm I ever known. We'll talk more tomorrow. Rest, clear our minds. Help me on board. Good to rest, this once permitted. must confess, has been throwing a weight that I never felt before. Those are adverse winds and troubling skies, don't you think? Why do you look so severe? Have some water. Do you not rest well? Of course. You can rest in this place. Whatever is wrong, my boy, or past, no present.
You no longer hide my secret. I have something to tell you. I came to steal something from you.
I have nothing here for you to take.
Have your freedom and free will. You're going to be taken back and delivered to my commander. I must obey the officer that sent me here. Justice enjoins my mission, and the common cause of my countrymen demands it.
What?
It is true.
Have you lost your mind? What are you saying? What have you done?
I have my orders.
Fraud! Deception! I am undone. You're the worst of men. Trickery will not help you to boast of this prize. I would rather stay here and be the banquet of what is hunted and devoured than be dragged back in your deceitful claw. You're a cruel spoiler. What insidious guile is here?
Duty forces me to obey.
I thought you were the sum of all men. But now I see that you're a stain on humanity.
I have no choice.
All men have a choice. All men have the freedom in their hearts to choose between it's right and wrong, good and evil. If only you can reach down to the soul and reach out the courage to seize what is right.
Stop it!
Whoever sent you here knows this. That is why they sent you and didn't come themselves. As wretched as I am, evil cannot vanquish me. That is why you try deception and no force to win me to your side.
Why do I fail here?
Because this is not who you are. No, you're good. Smite the evil welling in you. You're not wicked. I know it. You cannot deny your heartless nature. You just need an example of what is just and good to awaken it in you.
No!
Your father's flesh is here before me. I've seen you think and listen and fight in your soul when you know it's wrong. Nothing to deception but empty dreams and a bitter destitution. And bristle at it. Raise up and you will seize morality. Act and the morality embedded in your flesh. You would be what you were born and bred to be by your father.
No!
You cannot deny your heartless nature. You must brave it.
I can't feel it!
Is the white light blazing within you like a torch in the darkness? You cannot bend to misfortune. You must brave it.
Oh, you were right. I know deep down in my soul you were right. You're talking with this woman. I'm so ashamed.
I first consider you a stranger to fraud, not capable of it. So you struggle, you hurrious choices. You're not evil. You seem to have been taught by evil men. Soul has been infected, but I will guide you better. You were instructed in deceit. Integrity and honor will be your constant companions now, and will will serve you when no other companions are around.
I beg your forgiveness.
I will cleanse you of the rancid teachings you have received so far. You can fashion yourself a new destiny. Virtue is the weapon of good men. We'll start over. Together.
Hey, Charles!
Yeah!
No! 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 No!
Yeah! Too wretched! I am mad! That I think I can hear Idris' voice in my ears! And here, of all places, I burn from a fire under my skin, and I am mad!
You are not mad, though dead is what I wish you were.
There has never been a more base and hideous being. You repugnant ulcer! You sent this boy to do your worst, and you didn't even tell him why. He could spend eternity casting execrations against you. What is your intent here? What do you want?
Why you, of course. I've missed you. You filth!
Loathsome evil. I am saturated with you, no matter how far away I'm flying.
What devotion. You've never letting me out of your mind. Isn't that sweet? Now I'm all warm and runny.
If I only could find a way to disgorge you from my mind.
What would you do with your afternoons if I was
It was you who caused men to consign me here, so your word could spread in your post-blog. What did you want? You and your beats Diomedes!
True, but I hit a snag and now I need you. I came fetch you. You are coming back and you will serve me. You see, I have the key to this place.
Wretch, what vile words do you spew? As if there's anything that you can do to force me to return for your benefit.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's something I could do that might sway you. Look at this, Benitez. So exquisite. Nectarous, masculine, and right. You would have been the first man to sample all his delights. You had the chance to taste all his pleasures, but declined. I underestimated you.
Again.
Seems like such a waste. Perhaps I'll destroy myself before I dispatch his soul to be with Heracles. At least someone should have some fun.
Go ahead. Raped and killed thousands already. Worse, you raped them and left them on a walking death to dwell on who you are. Why should he be any different?
Strike then, Atrax. This is meant to be. This is my reward for following you, the craven fool that I am. Slash away with your knife and don't spare a cut. It is worthy payment for my belief in you now that I would rather die than serve you.
Go ahead. He's your puppet. Cut the strings.
No! I'll take pity on you for the time being. Besides, I may want to witness to my victory here today.
Pity. You know nothing of pity. Victory is yet to be decided.
Oh, I assure you, I will be the victor here today, as I've always been, with you and with man through the ages. Don't forget who it was who taught man to scorn you. You were bought, sold, and undone, and ended up to rot in this barren place by me.
And racked by pain, cooled only by bitterness. Yes, it was a blow I remember well, but I've learned so much since then.
What have you learned? Well, I guess you've learned how to suck water from a rock and dine on desert scorpions.
Beware, Atrox. I have mastered the art of dining on scorpions.
Enough of this! You will return with me to convince the people that my institutions are just and true. And anyone who will not fall behind my leaders are not patriots to the cause. My cause!
Is that not the very offer you put to me when you arrived? With a very different ending.
Your will is not required, but your compliance will be won. I require it, you will do it.
So I am to be dragged back, manacled and bleeding. Never. My father's son was born a free man and not a slave.
I like that word, slave. I always did.
Your boldness has always been your undoing. You and the men you control march across nations, impaling opponents, greedily devouring what stood in their way. How surprising this might have been. The much of what you swallow gave you a sour belly.
It passes, like all things do.
The world is well versed in your sinful lore. Your curse, and they all know it.
And yet, they all flock to me and do whatever they are told for trifling return. Why do you think they do that?
Because they have no shining example to do otherwise. Because they have no one to lead them to righteousness, truth, and mercy. I will be that beacon for them again.
I wish you were covered with these wounds to bring you to your just ruin.
And I would be, if it were up to you, which it isn't. It was not you that gave me this festering wound. No, you claim credit for it. And you who knew no better than to obey his commands, now you burn in your own error. And that is the fever that he can spur in men. He gets them whipped up into a frenzy for bloodlust and just profit, just to pillage and destroy what is on theirs. Like a fever, man gets delirious with short-term gains he can garner by lashing out in violence and convulsing to war, and get blinded by the stifling fever and flames that Atrox throws them in.
If you are
armies stretch about in their sloth and commit hideous, unspeakable atrocities, while Atrox thrives on the energy thrown by pain and torment right from their victims. His eternal error and inevitable damnation is his refusal to see that a fever's true purpose in man is to raise the body's temperature, to defeat and burn off the infection and the offending illness, the disease that is Atrox.
Ignore this. He is mad. He has pricked your heart with his words while you are alone with him, but nothing has changed. I am served by all mankind. In your absence, there was no serious insurgency.
My commander may upbraid me, call me weak or soft of heart, but I sense a certitude for the sense that there is more to this universe than there appears to be. There is more to this struggle than there appears to be.
No insurgency, you say. And after all this chatter about supremacy, you're here. The great and mighty Atrox is here, in this place, seeking out leaders. He, who yields to no one, stands before me with a desire that includes me, needs me.
Atrox the Merciful, that's what they'll say. I've come to rescue you and to plead your case before all of mankind. It'll make headlines. For piety, I have no peers.
You sully the word by speaking it. Pious! What does any religion knows the depths of evil you're capable of? You didn't build that into it, did you?
What do you mean?
Who do you think created religion? He did! He created it so he could harness mankind and keep the masses compliant, didn't you?
Works like a charm. Necessity makes it pleasing. I have no complaints. It provides a narcotic serenity that many need. As a diversion, it is unparalleled. Lenin once said that religion is the opium of the masses. I miss him.
What are you saying? This is total bullshit. What are you saying, that Aatrox started a religion to bridle man? That's fucking ridiculous.
Keep men on a leash is more like it. But why? Why it is ridiculous? Do you think organized religion came from? It is to keep the believing masses at heel. What religion do you believe in?
I am Christian.
A damn good one.
What do you know about the origins of your sacred religion? Much or bad?
I believe in Jesus Christ.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth.
You must not let any man shackle your mind, or you will be in for more torture than any rack or dungeon could allow out.
And in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, conceived of the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, dead, and buried. He descended into hell.
No, thank you. Been there, done that.
Benitez, I know what I feel is true.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Ignore
Christianity
him.
wasn't a unified movement until the first council of Nicaea met hundreds of years after Jesus. Aatrox made it all up. Conquered their minds with beliefs. Wars are expensive. These were better.
This is bullshit.
It is all out there for you to learn yourself. You simply have to see. You feel. You were told to feel. You only know. You were taught to know. Raised to believe. Aatrox laid down years ago. Baseless belief you hold true too. Seminary vitrol. Nothing is worthy of worship.
But how can you...
Aatrox control every decision then, every dialogue. Control himself. He presided every conference in Nicaea from behind closed doors. There wasn't a bishop or a governmental representative there that Aatrox didn't fondle, whisper promises to, and tweak the nipples off.
Amen! The Arians and Homoiousians were my favorites. Now they really knew how to celebrate. Once we set them straight that Jesus was the Son of God and mortal, made the whole concept easily digestible and enabled the average man to reach for the divine.
There was a momentous event for the history of Europe and the history of the Church. The Church of Aatrox.
Keep your beliefs in the mysteries of our Lord, son. It'll get you through your dark days. Our Lord works in mysterious ways.
God of the gaps.
Gaps? What gaps?
The whole purpose in believing in any God is to fill the lapse of proof or explanation in understanding. Thinking that God did it fills in the gaps. Of course, science fills in more and more of these gaps. So God has less room or reason than ever these days. Man does learn and evolve. That is his best feature. He just forgets too quickly. That's all. It is all self-organized criticality.
Self-organized criticality? Oh my God, you're such a no-one.
This makes no sense.
Listen, it's the grain of sand theory. Pour some sand onto a table at one point. When do you reach the moment where your brain's avalanche? There is not a sharp transition between no pile of sand and pile of sand, but the transition that exists.
But how can you say that such a turning point is small?
Well, no small, as much as unnoticed. Many things exist, escape our attention. What is the weight of a fingerprint after all?
It was all God-given.
No! You are the demiurge. Men just follow the word in faith. See? Aatrox typically learns from his mistakes. He goes all the way back with the polytheist beliefs he started years ago.
Who can remember way back then?
He experimented with different groups in different regions in which God would work best to keep the masses at heel. At first, there were many gods, safety in numbers. People could choose and pick the gods they like.
Pagans. You're kidding.
What? Do you think pagans believe any less in their gods than modern men believe in his? Don't you ever read Philo?
Who do you think reads Philo or Hesiod?
Aatrox started various polytheist beliefs based on a multitude of gods. for every want or need. When that moved in, he moved on to one smiting and judgmental God, creating Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and all the others on that front.
Jesus was unique.
He wasn't unique. All of the central main gods in the world have identical, or at least similar stories. That is because Athos got lazy. Jesus, Ion, Attis, Osiris and Horus, Dionysus, Bacchus, Adonis, Mithras, and so on.
You know that the name Mithras means the middle one, mediator, and promise of allegiance. We'll add a Mithric title to your honors when we return.
There are ancient Persian mystery religion scriptures in caves claiming that the god Mithras said, "He who will not eat of my body and drink of my blood shall not know salvation." Sounds familiar? Fire burns on and on.
You are going too far. There were differences.
Right. Horus had a head of a falcon to keep him mystical. No one seemed to notice that. And it's believed that Jesus had a human head.
You are obsessed.
You don't have to believe me. Fold over the edges of time, and the proof defying conventional belief is there. Compare the myths of Jesus and the Egyptian god Horus, for instance. Thousands of years separate both beliefs, but both were believed to be the only begotten son of the main god. Both had mortal fathers of royal descent. A lot like you, Virtus. Both Jesus and Horus were born in humble quarters, heralded by a star, born the same day. Both were spiritually awakened at 12 and had no history between the ages of 12 and 30. Both were baptized at 30 by baptizers that were eventually beheaded. Both have temptations challenged in the desert. Both are resisted. Both walk on water, cast out demons, and restore
I've
sight
had a
to the
demon
blind.
cast out before.
Whew.
Now as for the blind...
Both Jesus and Horus rose somewhere from the dead, were crucified with two thieves, lay in a tomb, and rose again. Both were considered to be the saviors of humanity. Atrox seems to show it. Don't get me started with the comparisons of Dionysus and Jesus.
Yes! Don't.
Atrox always peppers his creations with some truth, so that any thinking man will be more willing to accept it, and any illiterate man will lap it up. People always need a diversion.
It wasn't until Constantine that the whole thing began to gel. His mother really helped me out, so I gave her the Catholics to worship her image. I reward those who keep their allegiance with me.
All I'm saying is for you to think for yourself. It's all a matter of whomever is currently in the public's favor. If tables were turned in time, teenagers will be wearing t-shirts and bracelets that say, "What would Horus do?"
But if a religious concept, if it worked so well once, then why move on? Why change it?
Because the people still suffer, regardless of their beliefs. You have to adapt. How often can you punish a child before the child strikes back?
It is good to keep things fresh.
Over time, men saw that there was still sickness, pain, bad harbors, and earthquakes, regardless of how many prayers virgins they offered to their gods. It didn't matter. They finally caught on that nature would go on regardless of what it's lay in its path. Atrox needed a new hook.
Belief is pure.
But why is any belief necessary? Aristotle said that you should not try to prove the obvious with the less obvious. Who needs faith, and why?
It does not seem rational.
John Mackey claimed that the only true miracle he's ever known is that so many people actually believe in God. I caught up to him in a back alley for that one. Now, he's sucking soup through a straw.
I don't know what to think. My head is just spinning.
Open your eyes, Virtus. The presence of gratuitous evil in the world proves atheism. The presence of Atrox proves atheism. Man punishes man sufficiently enough. Don't need any God for that. Silent gods are just an excuse for Aatrox.
He's just saying all this because God has punished him for what he is, without warning or explanation. He thinks it's unfair, and he is bitter. Heretic!
No! This is apostasy. I never joined the circus of beliefs.
The thought of a life without religious beliefs makes me feel sad. And lonely, it makes me feel very, very lonely.
No. Don't let it. That is Aatrox's prize if you do. Don't fall in the dread of nothing. You are something. Make today count. Don't worry about tomorrow. Take strength in knowing that you're a member of the human race and part of the energy that flows and binds every living thing together. Let that dispel loneliness and fear.
He is a spoiler. That's what he is.
What does he mean by that, Dionysus?
Luther. I helped Luther to start a counter-movement to stymie the growth of Aatrox's Catholic Church. It made sense at the time. The chiefs became cowards. Cracks became fissures. Just wanted to let the air out of his tires a bit.
Crybaby. Backfired on you, didn't it?
But even I could estimate how the whole thing would fracture. Michael men would stand up and start their own factions.
You did that.
Thought I would just flick one well-placed domino and watch the whole thing fall. Didn't.
What about the Crusades? Hundreds of thousands dead, and all because of you. Not me, you.
I made many mistakes. Many mistakes.
See, there is balance in the universe.
I just wanted to help. I genuinely care, and I just wanted to help.
Right. Me too.
Oh, I'm losing my mind. You both toy with mankind, and I think you are toying with me.
No.
Benitus never knew what he was doing. Once I created Gilgamesh, a strapping and glorious Babylonian warrior king who couldn't be beaten. He created the massive and brutal Enkidu to counter Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh became a tyrant to his people.
Benitus thought his work was done and I'd be stymied somehow. So a battle had to be fought between the two. The day that Gilgamesh and Enkidu met on the battlefield for the inevitable clash, they shocked everyone by falling in love with each other. They wouldn't stop fucking. They lived together for years.
That was unexpected.
It sure pissed off the Hittites, I'll tell you that.
To mention Inanna.
How is that wound feeling? How's the pain?
Oddly enough, it isn't troubling me right now. Exposing Aatrox's underbelly has always strengthened me.
You mean emboldened?
No! I mean it strengthens me.
Daring villain! You are trying to make his head spin in a vain attempt to bewilder and confuse his allegiance to me.
Tears rush to my eyes when I think of the damage and destruction that you have brought in many guises, including patriotism, by force, by persuasion, and my wound fresh.
As you said before, I did not give you that wound. It was man who rejected you and sent you here. There is no end to the wicked deeds of men. Don't forget that.
Yes, but fueled by you. He says he's humble. He's haughty. I was overthrown by words. Words dark and blind. Low, creeping words from a perfidious and traitorous fiend. You spoke every ill and false truth about me that you could with your venom tongue. Any actual truth spoken by you scorched your lips.
It was you who could not see the changing of the tides. That is what gave me the opportunity to create the surge that swept you here. I am known to vary with varying needs. I bend. I change with the times and adapt. That is a good thing. I do what I have to in order to survive. Besides, who could be just and good when the times get so trying?
He can. I can. You always try to curse mankind through emergence, and it never works. If the birds in the sky and the fish in the sea can do it, why not men? Well, men backs the animal instinct trend a bit.
I should hope so.
They're not all so different. Don't kid yourself.
You can study shifts, emergent patterns, swarming and animal behavior, but you will never get your armies to a pure collective. Man is missing the one essential element that makes true emergence collective happen.
What is that then?
Trust. Instinctual trust. Ants, birds, fish instinctually trust their neighbor and will follow where they go. They keep their own space in the unit, but they cooperate. It looks like a pattern from the outside, but inside it is just the innate sense of trust that the unit will do the right thing for the entire group.
I guess that's why you don't see a group of mallards fly away from the flock because the leader is vain, do you?
Personally, I like the swarm mentality of the cannibal Mormon crickets. The back of the column moves on for food, and the front of the column moves on so as not to be eaten. Perfection. Everyone has a goal.
Change is not predictable. Atrox just grasps at chaos theories.
Stop this! I've had enough. Seize him and prepare to go back. Some minute pockets of men cry out for you here and there and try to resist my rule. You will be the shield to either bring these dissenters to heel or I will eliminate them. It's that simple. I will skin you and make a fly to your hide if I have to. Seize him! That is an order!
Must undo what I have wrongly done here.
What have you wrongly done here? Defended your country? Followed your orders? Obeyed the chain of command? These words appall me.
No, I was wrong to obey you before. I was wrong to be covetous of victory at any cost. You can blame your actions on a fraudful Mercury when it suits you, but I cannot. I will not be wrong again.
The deed misbecame you here. You are wrenching like a fool.
You're speaking as a noble man, not as the boy who first set foot in this place.
You tried to make me conquer with fraud, schemes, and trickery. It was all a lie. Everything you said about what the country needed was a lie. The country needs truth and honesty. It needs virtue and good men like my father.
You are alarming me with these words. What are you thinking?
I will no longer continue through base and sinful means.
You are saying this just to anger me.
Well, if the truth angers you, then let the truth be said.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Enough! My true purpose here is clear. I will bring Bonitas back with me to right the wrongs of mankind.
Fool! I will fight you every step of the way. Every army around the world will rise up against you. You must be brought back under my control, or havoc will ensue.
Your threats are hollow. I see you for who you are now, and I see no sign of the wit or greatness that I imagined in you.
This is madness. Your words and your plans are reckless. Thousands of men will die over this rash decision.
It may be reckless, but you have to be reckless today in order to be righteous. Everything I did here was shameful, and I will reverse it all. Let's go.
You had better fear me, son. You won't get far in this.
I am not your son, and I fear nothing when I am doing right.
I don't think you have the guts to do this. I don't think you have the strength.
Well, then we will fight together. Like two lions on the hunt for anyone who would subject others to pain and loss until the world is calm again. I will guard you. And you will guard me.
Let's talk about this. I'm sure we can find common ground. Remember, if all the individuals cooperate, there's a shared reward for everyone.
That didn't work for Stalin. Anyone work for you?
Shut up!
I am resolved. I reject you. And all that you are.
You will see me again soon enough. I will do nothing about this now, but I will return with an army that will cut you both down where you stand. And I will drink your blood from my helmet, down to the last drop!
Are you ready to go?
I admire what you said, but I'm not sure this is not a new type of knavery of deceit. It fell a code of honesty in your speech to me upon your arrival. I was deceived then. Those words always brought me to a bitter end. Would be any different.
How can a man not repent and change? I mean, can you not see where he went wrong and try to right himself? It's been a long time since I've had a father to guide me in the ways of the world.
You are too old to need a father.
Yes, but I'm not too old to need a friend. I think I'm going to need someone watching my back if we're going to take on what we have to do out there. I assure you now that I am true.
Suffering under the rejection of man has been too deep. My emotional calluses are broad. I cannot trust you again. I don't know if you're hiding some new type of knavery, or you have truly repented.
Trusted friend, that would mean that you stay here, regardless of how much we need you back home. Curse me no more and join me now. Time is wasting.
Words of yours can touch my soul. Now,
I know that it is hard to forgive. It seems that my fate is always hard. No one in my life has given me anything until now, so why should I expect it to be any different? You once believed that I had a native truthfulness. Believe in that again. There is nothing I could say to soften your heart but the truth. If you stay, then you consign me to do this journey on my own, and perhaps my mission is to do this alone. There will be many warriors waiting to confront me. I may fail. Together, I know that we would succeed. My heart is heavy to leave you here when I genuinely want you with me so much.
what will you do about Atrus? His closest advisors must be slain for you to succeed.
No. No, that would not be noble for me or for you. Too many men have been slain already. We will find another way. Most of make Atrus men are cowardly gods, they're thugs. We will put the might where it belongs in true time, and people will rally to our cause when they see that we are true and genuine.
You have proven your birthright and metal with those words. I marvel at your transition. I will shield and aid you. There's much to do. We'll go together.
I cannot find the way in which I came. I cannot get out.
That is because Atrus, you're trying to live with something that you brought. The key.
No.
You brought with you the paragon of modern man. Your vanity and ego-driven pursuit, you didn't realize that he's the archetype of man. The goodwill and grace of all mankind is the key to it all. You squander that. I leave my sickness and doom behind. I have no need for it. The sun is high and our journey has begun.